As part of events organized to mark International Democracy Day, the NGO Never Again Rwanda organized discussions that brought together more than 100 youth from across the country.
Today we are celebrating democracy because there was a time it did not exist. I believe it is important to acknowledge that it is great that we can speak our minds as young people and we are taken seriously. That is democracy and it is useful to society.
First off, we are given numerous avenues to air our views. Forums like Meet the President, where we speak our mind and he responds to our input, showing us that he supports us as our president. In Parliament, we have 2 youth MPs, and they speak on our behalf so that our ideas can be achieved.
With things like social media, you can just post your question for a leader instead of trying to find them in their office. That sort of freedom is an indication of democracy, with people easily able to reach their leaders.
Organizers point out that there can be no democracy if the youth are ignored.
Abanyarwanda hafi 60% ni urubyiruko.
Close to 60% of Rwanda's population is made up of young people, and when you want to raise up a society that will continue building up the country moving forward, then you must first build up the youth. As for the principles of democracy and governance, we at Never Again Rwanda feel it is important to prepare the youth because they are the leaders of the future and need that capacity building and knowledge of governance, playing a role in the things currently being done for them. 2020 Rwanda Governance Scorecard noted that inclusiveness and participation of people in the decision-making process is now at 81.96%. Taking into account Rwanda's past and culture is an important factor when assessing such indicators and the progress the country has been making.
As we talk about democracy today, we can appreciate the strides our country has made in that respect. We also look at it in the light of Rwanda's uniqueness, especially looking at the challenges the country is facing and how they can be resolved. That is why it is important to acknowledge the uniqueness of our country, its culture, history, and the objectives we have set for ourselves as a people. Democracy that ignores the context of a country can easily lead it astray.
Democracy ititaye kuri context y'igihugu ishobora kuyobya igihugu.
Rwanda's accountability among her leaders has also been praised by the international community.
As we see a very strong accountability, leaders level, even at local level. So we see this as a pillar of the, let's say, institutional architecture in the country. And so this principle of accountability should be very well, say, understood since the very beginning. So that's very important. So here in Rwanda, we are extremely, say, interested into this model of accountability, which is also linked to the broader, let's say, objectives of this country. The vision and the ambition of the country can be achieved thanks to these really clear accountability principles. Fight against corruption is another pillar of this equation, I think. Which is also involving not only the public sector but also the private sector.
International Democracy Day was first established by the UN back in 2007 and is marked on the 15th of September annually.